2 Google meetings today because this is going to be more than an hour class. You can see what I'm trying to achieve at the end here. So you can see what I'm trying to achieve today and then something like this as well. Okay, so let me see if we're going to be if we're going to finish it today. But if we can't, then Wednesday. But let's see. We should be able to finish it today. Let's move. So the first thing we're doing is styles. Then after styles, the next thing we're doing is um, responsive design. Um, responsive design. Then adaptive design, and then mockups. That's why I said today's class is going to be very hot because we're taking these 4 things, and I just wanted to know that, like I said, today I mentioned on the group that we have about 15 days for this class in the space of 5 weeks, and today is the 6th. So the 6th, I think we can handle this, and this should be very comfortable for you to say, "Oh, I've had 6 days in this training, and it's been so good. This is the level I'm at now." All right. So let me know if you can still hear me in the chat session so that we can proceed. It's already 12 minutes past 9 p.m. So just drop a message in the chat section if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, 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 that's fine. So let's push. All right, let's push. I'll start with this. Um, what are styles? I'm going to start with styles here. So, what exactly are styles? And then I'm going to explain what responsive design is. And yeah, so I'll do these two first, and then we'll come to the other two. So what exactly are styles? You see, sometimes, like for most of you guys, all your designs have so far your designs have been on one screen, two screens max. You know, some of you did as much as screens, etc., etc. Now, but what is a style? Let's say you're designing for. Imagine you're designing an app like Facebook, for example, and you've done about 20 screens. Let's say you've brought about 14. Okay, 14 Pro Max is the frame you're using, but I always tell you use 13 mini. And then imagine you've done this amount of screens. You've designed a lot of interactions. And now all of a sudden they tell you that, oh, the color we want for our button is not pink, it's now red. Now you have to go into this one, look for button, change color, look for button, change color, look for button and change color, and just like that. That is extremely stressful. It's extremely stressful because what if you have a design that has plenty screens? What if you have a design that has a lot of screens? Like, how are you going to manage? Should I maybe I should show you an example of a design with a lot of screens so that you can see exactly what I'm referring to by changing colors. Color in this instance, but styles can refer to anything from font sizes. You know more about it now. I just want to show you one example before we go into it deeply. So I'm going to look for a file here. Just 1 minute. Hold on. Let me look for something that has a lot of screens. Trying to look for an app. I don't want to open web pages. Let me go to drafts. I think it should be my drafts. Sorry, let me accept someone here. So let me go to drafts and let me get it from here. Just hold on. I just want to make sure the so that you guys see that sometimes you can do a design and you have over 40 screens. So it's I'm looking for a very long application that I can use to make reference. At the same time, I don't want to share some kind of designs immediately. Oh, I can't find one and I can't remember anyone's name right now. Mm, no, not that one. Let me search with keywords. Just hold on. E-commerce. So let me get those e-commerce examples. So I'll just pick one of them. Still loading. Still loading. Like I have a lot of files even in drafts, so my Figma is very packed. Very, very packed. Please make sure your microphone is off. I think I heard someone's mic um turn on. Just make sure it's off. If this is taking a lot of time, I'll just go into this. I don't have the time. So let's work with my example. So imagine, let's say, I'm going to draw circles here. Imagine these circles are buttons, and you have these circles in all these places, right? And these are buttons. And initially, all of them are this color, but then one day the management says, no, we want this color to go away. We want to use red. Now I have to come here, click here, and change the color to red. Then I have to come here, click here, change the color to red. It is demanding a lot of time. That is where styles come in. So what exactly are styles? A style is giving one command, giving one particular element, making them uniform to one particular element. Let me explain with a real life example. Out of a woman comes forth a child. Now, the child is usually the replica of the man and his wife. Now, if a black man meets a black woman and they do the things that they are supposed to do in the black places and they give birth to a white child, it's going to be obvious that this was not a product of their black meeting. Now, imagine they bring forth a black child and you're like, yes, this is obviously a product of their black meeting. Now, the man, the wife, and the child, they travel abroad, they go overseas, and they start using the same kind of cream. So when they start using the same kind of cream, their skin begins to change in the same kind of way. But if the son is left in Nigeria, the guy goes still the black. That's a very, very rubbish example. But hold on, I'm trying to point out something. So let's just do an example with the screen. So this color here is red or orange, whatever. Now, usually you come here, right, and then you pick one color from here. But today, what you're going to do is you're going to come here. There's this four dots here that means style, that represents style. When you click on these four dots, this is what you're going to do. The next thing you want to click on is the plus icon here for create style. And then when you click on it, then you want to name the style. You want to name this color as a style. So I'm just going to call it style. Let me say style 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I click on create style. Now watch this. Let's say I come over here and I draw another circle. Let's say I draw another circle. Okay. Now this circle here has this color that is not this color. But I'm going to come here. I'm not going to click on this here to change color. No. I'm going to come over here, click on these four dots, and then I'm going to select the style 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I had done previously. Now watch this magic. Let's say now they've told me that these colors they want them to be yellow on my buttons. All I have to do is now edit the style. So when I edit the style, and I'm going to do this again, when I edit the style to, let's say, the color yellow, watch, it affects everywhere that it is present. This is the power of styling. This is why styles are important. Now I'm going to do it again and I'm going to show you how I did everything one by one. So let me start by removing all of these screens. Let me go back to set of instructions here. So I'm going to write down the stuff, right, as usual. So number one is what, create, choose a color, choose a color, click on four dots, create a style. right? Click on four dot, create the style. Now, when the style is created, click anywhere on the artboard, then find your style to edit. What do I mean? My background is this color. I'm just going to let me make it black so that it doesn't look too strange. Good. Now, when I create the style, where do I see the style if I want to edit the style on all the designs that I've done or whatever? You have to click on your background. Then here you are going to see the style. Now, if the style is created as a color style, you will see it under color styles. If it's created as a text style, you will see it under text styles. If it's created as a grid style, you will see it under grid styles. So let's go with how to create color styles, and I'm going to do them again. So join a circle, I'm going to come here, change the color to, let's say this time I want to create a style for purple. So when I change the color to this, I come over here, I click on these dots here. When I click on it, then I come here and click on this plus here for create style. Then I'm going to call this one purple. Now watch this. If I click on anywhere on my artboard that is not inside of an element, I get to see the style here, purple. You get that? So now I'm just going to delete all of them so that I'll show you. Now you can see there are no color styles anymore. If I click on this guy, it's going to show me the normal color code. But I'm going to create it as a style one more time. So I will click here. If I had created it as a style, you will see it here. But here you can see no color style. So I'm going to click here and this I'm going to call purple. When I do this, here you can see purple. Likewise, these guys here, these are just like grid styles. You know how grids are formed, right? If I create an iPhone 8 frame, for example, I come here and click on layer grid. Sorry about that. I think I'm having um, okay, I think someone is okay. Okay. I am going to start from where it's convenient for everybody that was present since the class began. So you have nothing to worry about. Alright. So let me just confirm that my screen is being shared and we proceed. So I think my screen should be very visible right now. I don't know how strong my internet is. I've tried
Yes.
I've tried several routers, but most of them are just still messing up. But let's push. Okay, okay, so let's push. I'm going to start with how to create a color style. How to create a color style again. So let's assume that this is my frame. This is an iPhone 14, iPhone 8 frame. I'm going to come here and let me say change the color of the frame to blue. Now let's say I want to make blue a color style for all the frames. I want to make sure that once I want to create a color style, is a color that I'm going to use for a lot of things. So I'm just going to come here, click on these four dots here for style, click on plus. Then I'm going to name this style. So I'm going to call it blue. Okay. Now when I click anywhere else on the artboard, I see the color styles here. I've created purple in the last. I created purple before I created this blue. So one more time, I'm going to do it. This time, I'm going to do it with another shape, probably a star. I'm going to draw a star. Then I'm going to come here and change the color of the star to purple. Then I'm going to click on these four dots here, and I'm going to click. Oh no, we've done purple before. Let's do another color. Um, let's do another color. So I'm going to come here. Let me do sky blue or whatever this color is. So I'll click here, click the plus icon, and then I'm going to call this, let me just call it star color. So anywhere I have stars, I can just imagine I create a new star, for example. Let me draw a new star here, and I want to use my star color. All I have to do is instead of coming here to select the color, I come here and I get star color. It affects this guy. Now, if yesterday or tomorrow I say I want to change all my star colors, I can just come here and change all my star colors at once. So that is the power of styling. Now, the next example I wanted to give was with layer grid. Imagine I come here and I create a layer grid for this iPhone 14 frame, and I use columns. Let's say I use 30 columns, which is not good to use. No, it's even too much. Let's say I use 12, and let me say the color is white. This is just an example. I don't recommend it. Now imagine that this is my layout grid and I want to use this. So when I create a new frame for iPhone 14 or iPhone 8 rather, I don't want to I don't want to I don't want to what's it called? I don't want to come back here and start clicking on this and clicking on this. What I want to do is just simply come over here, click on the nine boxes here and select the grid. But first I should have created it as a style. If I don't create it as a style, it's not going to be here. So what do I mean? So how to create styles? Just come here, the same process. Click here. So when you click here, come to the plus icon. Then I'm going to call this example grid, right? So I call this example grid. So if I just come to this new frame here, all I need to do is click here and select example grid. Now example grid is in there. Wait, oh, it don't work. Just hold on. Let me see why. It didn't work because the color of this guy is the grid is white and this is white background. So let me change the color of this one to the blue. So I've changed the color and you can see that the same thing. So that is how styles work. Now the same thing with text. Let's say you want to write a text for, let me see, the name of this text is who be that man. Now let's say the font I'm using is called FO Forte. Let's say this is the name of the font. Now I want this font to be the font I will use, go the font size. Let me say it's 24. So I want this size to be the size I'll use for all my major text, my major headers. So I'm just going to come here, same thing, create a style, and then I'll just call this, let me say header. So once I do that, you will see header is just right there. So if I come and create a new text, let me say I come here and create a new text and I write hello. Now imagine this was not linked to the style. Imagine it was Poppins font, for example. Good. So if I want to just get this, all I need to do is come here and click on header and it adjusts. So that's the power of styling. That's the power of styles. Styles are being used to edit a lot of things at the same time. So imagine now, okay, today I say I want to change all of these guys. I don't like Forte anymore. I just come over here and I change the name of the font to Sacramento, and both of them are going to change. That is the power of styles. So that is that for styles. I really need to move on to the more sweeter things per se. So let me just make sure that I complete this guy. Find your style to edit. Okay, yes, I think this is complete. Yeah, I think this is complete. So how to create a style. So choose a color. Let me say color, text, grid, effects, create, click on the four dots because you can create even effect styles. In our next class, we should be discussing things like neomorphism and glassmorphism. It's a very sweet class. So then we'll talk about effects more using shadows, etc. etc. So that's that for styles. Let's go quickly into responsive design. So what exactly is responsive design? You see, if I go to this website called, let me go to the website called, which website do I go to now? Let me see, I want to search for let me say amen. This is the word that just came into my head. So amen. So let me just try and click on any website that comes here. Like I beg. Let me say travel out. Just trying to look for a website sharp sharp. Okay, so let's see what we have from Google. It's taking a while to load. While it's loading, I'm going to come here and say um, skinned. So anyone that loads first, we're using example. Okay, good. So let's look for a website here. Travel Health Pro, blah blah blah. So let's open that website. Now, responsive design. I'm using my laptop to browse, and you can all see that this is the laptop I'm using to browse. But Obi might be browsing the same website but with a mobile phone. And John Okafor Ndubisi might be browsing the same website but with a tablet. And Chiamaka, the hookup girl from Lekki, might have found a way to get a smartwatch that she can use to browse this particular website as well. All of those things are screens. Now, as a designer, sometimes you might not be required by the. Sorry, Blessing, you said my voice is skipping. I want you to confirm that you can hear me fine now. Can you hear me well now? Can you hear me well, Blessing? Chiamaka is a hookup girl. There's no question to that. In this example, she's doing hookup. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. I just want to make sure that nobody is being left out, please. Specifically, I'm talking to Blessing Best.
Yeah.
If she can hear me, okay, great. So let's push. Let's push them. Now, where we did? Okay, good. So this is the website. Now, Chiamaka is using the smartwatch. John Obin the PC is using the other one, and the other person is using the other one. As a designer, you are going to design for what the desktop screen should have. You're going to design for what the tablet screen should have, and you're going to design for what the mobile screen should have as well. But let me tell you, it is not always like this. Sometimes the developers are not going to require that you even do the tablet at all. Sometimes they're just going to need the desktop and the mobile, from my experience. So sometimes you don't even need to do the tablet at all. But this is responsive design, that your design is capable of adjusting to different screen sizes without failing in position, without this one going to mobile phone, for example. Let's go to mobile. Imagine we went to the mobile phone, and this picture, for example, let me say this one here, instead of it to be here, imagine it was somewhere around here, just at this bottom, something like this. Imagine it was something like this. It doesn't make sense. It should be where it should be. So responsive design is you designing these instances for both the the desktop, the tablets, and the mobile devices. And if you want to, you can do the wristwatch as well. So for this example for responsive design, we are going to be making use of this Squid Game website or landing page design or hero page design rather. So why exactly are we making use of this Squid Game? I can look for something simpler, but I want to show you a few things at the same time, such as how this text is this way and how we have this light here. You can notice that there is something. You will notice that there is something here that acts like a light source. This blue here. So how it's done and all of that. So I want to take a lot of things here at the same time. Now let's move. The first thing that we are doing here is what? We are creating a frame, and that frame is going to be what size? You guessed it already, it's going to be desktop size. So we're going to start with the desktop size, right? Number one. Number two is layout grid. So you're going to come here and create a layout grid, columns of how many? 12, because you remember that desktop screens, laptop screens, we usually use 12. And then margin, I'm going to use 120 this time around. Now, when you're done creating this layout grid, please go a step further and make it a style so that you practice how styles work. So just come here, click the plus the usual way, and then come here. I'm going to call this new Squid Game style. So that's what I'm going to call it. No, let me, no, I never finished renaming it. So, okay, yes, very good example. Now I just finished, I clicked OK. I can't rename it from here. To rename it, I have to click on my artboard anywhere, then come over here, look for it, and then click on this guy here for edit. And then I can come here and say desktop. I want to make sure I put desktop new grid, something like that. Good. So what's the next thing we want to do? Let me go and look at the design one more time. So we have this logo here. Where did I get the logo from? I think I just went to the internet and I searched for Squid Game. Let me say Squid Game logo. Let me precise Squid Game logo. So while it's loading, let's take something else. The font. You can see this is not the same font that you don't have this font on your laptops. The name of this font is called Game of Squid. Wait, though. Don't I have this font here? It was not this PC I used. Okay. So it's called Game of Squid. So how are you going to get the font? What you need to do is go to Google and go to dafont.com. So let me just go to dafont.com and let me also add it to the instructions that you have. So I'll just duplicate this, zoom into it. So we have step one. Step one is what? Create a desktop frame, add layout grid, make grid a style, right? Step two, download logo, and then step three is what? Go to dafont.com and download Game of Squids, Game of Squid font. So on dafont.com, I'm just going to wait for it. You can see on dafont.com you get a lot of fonts. There are a lot of fonts there. But particularly we are looking for the font called Game of Squid. So I'm searching for it here. So click on search. So having clicked on search, you should get Game of Squid. So this is the font. So you come over here and click on download. Like the gentleman and the gentle lady that you are, it's going to download for you flawlessly. So let's go back and check our logo and see if this page has loaded. Still loading. Let me try and see. A lot of tabs are open for me. Let me shut down some of them. Okay, let me shut down this one. This one. Okay, so you can see this is the actual one I use. So come to images because you want to get a clear one. So come to images. Remember we've downloaded the font. So come to these images here, click on it. So while it's loading, we're just going to do the next thing, which is to install the font. Wait, sorry, you cannot hear me. Let me know if you can hear me now. Harmony, please. And Emmanuel, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear now.
I can't hear. Oh.
You can't hear me like at all. Can you hear me now? Let me confirm you can hear me first. If you can hear me, just drop a text for me. Okay, you can hear me. So I assume that everyone can hear me. Maybe I need to just make sure my microphone is well adjusted, but it's fine. So let's move. The video is hanging. It's hanging because I don't know. I don't know. I can assure you that I really don't know why it's hanging. But let's move. Okay, so maybe it's because I'm being too fast. I'm running screen by screen. Uh, this is the logo here. So just right click on it and you can just copy the image. Now you take it to your Squid Game file, and then I'm just going to go to my desktop and paste it. Wait, let me see. Let me paste it here. Did I not copy it? Hold on. If you have a question, you can just type it. I'll come back to you. I want to make sure we do something before. I know it's a lot, but I want to make sure we cover it. We cover much. And of course, I'm not going to give you everything at once tonight because it's quite a lot. But let's see how we can just get um, the first two done tonight. So let me just do it traditionally. Let me save the image. Copy is taking uh, a lot of time. So I'm just gonna drag over here. Okay. So I'm going to resize it. Wow, you can see it's coming with background. We don't want this background. So you know what to do. remove.bg. So remove.bg, and then we're going to remove the what you call it, the background. So okay, so it's done. The background has been removed. Then we are going to judiciously download our logo. We're going to judiciously download the logo. So Baba Show now is actually taking time. I don't know why it's slow. I really don't know. But let me just download the logo. So it's downloaded. So let me go back here and let me just upload it here. So let me resize this guy. Now you can see it's not even visible at all, but there's a reason why. The reason is because you can see this one has a background that allows it to display itself in its full colors. And that background has a few colors. There is black, there is black, there's black, there's black. So let's do that quickly. So you can tell that the background is not one color, but how are you going to make the background two colors? When you come over here on fill, instead of making use of this primarily to choose one color, what you want to do is come here, click on solid. But let me make sure that there are no questions previously. Okay. So you come here, you click on solid, convert this solid to linear. Now linear is going to give you something particular that you can use to add 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 30, 100 colors to one particular frame. And you can just see it there. So now how to use this linear, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about how to use the linear. The linear has this let me call them pointers, right? That represent they represent the distance that the color is going to cover. So just I just left click on this one and drag, left click and drag to try and change it. There are only two colors there. You can see the first color is brown, the second color is still brown. But if you look on the right here, come over here and click on this second color, you're going to notice that the second color has an opacity of 0. So of course it's not going to show anything. You see, even if I take it to this color here, the opacity is at 0, so it's not going to be too significant. But if I increase this, you can see the rubbish that we are creating. But it's just for example. So how we're going to do this? So let's make the first brown here. First of all, let's come here, drag this guy to the extreme end so that the linear is going to be bent like this. So let's come here and make the first one black. Let's come here and make the second one somewhere around this color here. I might have to type the exact color code that I'm using if there is need for that. So we want to make sure that the black covers a significant portion of this area here. So you can just come here. Now remember you can click and drag these guys like this, Abby, and that's fine. But you can also come to the color and drag it like this. You see that? You can come to the color and drag it like this. Okay. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to come over here. I'll click on the linear again, sorry. I want to drag this one down. The more I drag this one down, the more dominance the black will have. So the more I drag this one down, the more dominance. You can see the black is having more dominance. So I'm going to just drag it down. Good. So if I go back here, you see that black has more dominance. But let me change this color a bit. I want a brighter color. You can even work with this purple. It's not a big. So good. So you can see how we created that gradient stuff. So let me just turn on the layer grid one more time. Layer grid no make sense again because now we're not seeing it. So let's change the color of the layer grid from our grid styles. So I'm just going to come here, click on this to edit, then this white color, it's more neater for me. Good. So at this point, I want to see, do you have any questions, please? Do you have any questions so far on the linear or on the style? I don't expect questions for columns and all of that. That's why I am not responding to Mr. Laptop, because I'm sure that it's something that you know already. So I assume there are no questions and I'm going to push. So let's install our font. So I'll click on it and I'm going to come over here. You know how to install fonts now, and I don't pass this level. So I'm just going to come here, click on the first one here, and just hold on, hold on. Like I said, my PC is partitioned between four operating systems, and that's why sometimes it's lagging. There are like four operating systems on this laptop in virtual box, and there are reasons for that. They are all important to me. So let's do this again. Okay, so you know how it's done. Click on install. Now after installing, make sure you've installed Figma font installer as well. So after installing, the next thing you want to do is what? You just want to make sure that you reload um, you reload the file. Remember in the last class when we talked about font installation, it's not going to work. If I come here and click T for text, and here I type, let me say Game of Squids, for example, I won't find the, I'm never going to find Game of Squid font here if I don't reload this screen. And the Lord knows how long it's going to take to come back. Let's reload it regardless. So while it's loading, I'm just going to talk towards more about the theoretical part of the responsive design. Now, after you've designed the desktop part, like when you're done designing the desktop screen, yeah, the next thing you're going to do is just next thing you're going to do is what? You're just going to um, create a tablet frame, and you're going to design it again. But the tablet and mobile is going to be very simple once you're done with the desktop. The desktop is usually the one that takes a lot more time. And you'll see it here. We can take 10-15 minutes doing the desktop, and then the mobile and tablets might just take like 3-4 minutes each. So I think it's still loading. If quick Franklin, Mr. Franklin, we downloaded the logo from the internet. We downloaded it, we removed the background, and we then brought it into Figma, and that's how we got it. This was the logo that we used. So that's how we got the logo in to the design. Okay, so let's just why I'm actually reloading the page so that I will make use of the actual fonts that we're supposed to use. So it's loading. Okay, that was fast. So let's just see how quickly it loads. It's actually loading fast. Impressive. Okay. So let's just give it a few seconds. Okay, perfecto. So what's the next thing we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? What we're going to do next is we want to go back to our sign. I want to click on the text and confirm that Game of Squid has installed. So game of, here you go. Simple. So what's the next thing we want to do? Let's go and find out what the hero text was for this guy here. So this here was Squid Game UI Part 2. So that's the text that I wrote here. So let's just go and write the same thing here. So I'm going to write Squid Game UI, because I noticed that the Part 2 is a different font size. So Squid Game UI, right? Now what's the font size we're going to use? Let's walk through it together. I'm going to try 50, and I think 50 works. I'm going to write it down as instructions, okay, so that nobody gets works anything at all. So Squid Game UI. So let's do a bit of measurement. Let me see how we can measure something here. First of all, I think I want to measure um, the distance between the logo and the top of the tablet or the laptop screen rather. So if I click on it, hold alternate. So here I can see it's 46. So I'm just going to make it like, let's say, 24. Good. So I'm just making it 24. All right. So one more thing I think we should do is, okay, no, let's move. So Squid Game UI is done. So the next thing I want to do is just um, I'm just going to duplicate this guy and I'm going to write battle. But I want the battle to be bigger. The battle here is bigger in size. So I'm just going to make this guy a bit bigger. So instead of 50, I'll probably do, let's say, 80. Okay, so that works. Now, I'm going to select the both of them and zoom in. The Squid Game text on the example that we have, you can see that the color is not straight, it's also linear. So we'll do the same thing here. So it's the same thing. Come over here, click on the fill color here, convert solid to linear. And then what you want to do next is click the first color you want to use. Let's say it's blue. Let's say it's blue, for example. And then click the second color. Let's say the second color is somewhere around this color here. So give it a bit of transparency. Then when you come over here now, is here you flex it. So do you want it to go up to down, left to right? This is where you flex it. Alright. But we need to make use of colors that actually match the design. This is looking too odd. So I'm just going to go for, I'll remove this color and still go for blue. But let me say, um, let me do a lighter shade of this blue. I want to make sure I give all the color codes so that nobody gets works. But I just thought of something. I think this design is going to be neater if we don't use gradients to play. But let's push. Let's push. So I think we should let's use the exact color we have here. So I'm just going to come here and copy this exact color. Let me change the background to this one so that we don't have conflict of colors left and right because the colors are different. I have to start suggesting colors right now. So I'm just going to copy this color and replace this one here with it. Yep, so we have our color back. So I'll just delete this one away, away, away. So this one here for the Squid Game text, same thing. I want to copy the color. So Control C. I'm using Control C to copy the colors, please. It's not magic, eh? And I want to paste it. So I think this is better. I don't want us to start thinking about colors and making color choices in class. It will take us a longer time. So let's move. So this is battle. Battle is not pure white, but let's just give it something around gray. Let's use something around here. Okay, then we'll just let's shift up a bit. So Squid Game battle, right? So what's the next thing we have there? Let me go and see. Be fast, be slow, be up, be down, take right, take left. I'm copying the text. I'm just copying the text. So I'll come over here and I'm just going to paste that text in there. It didn't work the way I wanted it to work, but we move. Yes, because I copied the text inside and not the text element itself, but we move. So the next thing I want you to consider is your alignment. So this one to this one, obviously, there is there's really a conflict of interest there, but this is fine. So I'm just making sure that I'm going to put all of them in an auto layout, Shift A. Then I'm just going to come here and I'm not going to increase the size now. I want to reduce it a bit. So I want to do something like, let's say, -25. So I can make do with this minus 25. And then we have a button there. So I'm just going to copy the button, but you are going to design the button using auto layout. And of course, you can see that the text inside the button is still the same font with this guy. Let's do this guy minus 15 instead. I think it should look better. Okay. Then the button to this guy, I'm going to do 16, right? 16. So you can see that. Now the next important thing is the menu here. You have the menu here. So the menu here, you can do it yes or no. Yes, you can do it. This is a button with auto layout, and these ones are just text that are combined with auto layout. So let's do our own here. T for text. I'm going to come here and write home so you can see it. Then I'll just duplicate it, and probably I'll just write about. Then I'll just duplicate it, and I'm going to come outside. Then probably I'll just write contact us here. I think we must have received a warning from Google already. 7 minutes. Okay, great. 7 minutes. I'm just going to let this guy stay up here. So when he gets to like maybe 3 minutes or so, we'll just cut the call and connect on a new link. So imagine these are the three menu options. I'm just going to have the three of them, and then auto layout. I don't want to be coming here to do auto layout. I just want to do Shift A. So never again will I be doing this because you all know this already. So Shift A, and we have auto layout. So here I'm just going to give it like let's say 24 as the distance. So I'll just take this up. Then we had that button. I think someone is trying to connect. Okay, we're on 6 minutes now. Okay, fine. So we have that button. There was a button there. Let's see it one more time. The home is a button. Sign up is a button. So I'm just going to take the sign up here. Let's forget about the home in this example. So just take the sign up. How to create the sign up button? You can do it. I'm sure you can do it because it's still the same thing. Gradient color, but auto layout, right? You can see that it's still the same thing. Or is the color is not a solid color now. It's a gradient color. It's a linear color. So that's just the difference between this and what you've always done with auto layout buttons, right? So I'm just making sure it hits the grid. I'm just making sure that it hits the grid there. So let's stop here and let's get on a new what's it called now on a new link so that we can properly do the following things so that we can touch the images and then do the responsive design and also all these side effects on the screen, stuff like that. So let me pause. I'm going to pause the record here. I'm going to share my screen, present now, present the entire screen because you need to see the entire screen, right? So let me just confirm that. Okay, okay. I was handling a project for I was handling a project for a tech firm in Dubai, and it was a really huge project. So we started with designing the application for that's the software, but the application this time it was an app. So we started by designing the app, and then after designing the app, we took the application to desktop because, of course, when the users type the domain www.what, they have to see it bring up something on the internet. Now, that something is the desktop version, and then we had to design. I designed it alone. I had to design everything about the app on the desktop version, and you see, it was not easy. It was not easy because it is difficult. It is more taxing, let me put it like that. It is more taxing to design first on mobile and then take it to desktop. It is easier to design first on desktop and then take it to mobile. It is easier like that. So let's continue. So this is good. So now the pictures, yes, the pictures that I used. I got these pictures from Google. These pictures I got them from Google. What did I use to search for them? Let me see if I remember. Let's say Squid Game cartoon. I think I used Squid Game cartoon. So you will get them if you use the same keyword, Squid Game cartoon. Now I'm not going to download and use. I'll use the four that I have already, but you would go extra mile to get the exact four that I have used. So let's just wait for it to load. I think this was the keyword I used. I can't recall, but I think they are cartoons, so it should fall into this category whichever way. Once I see one example, we'll go back to the Figma design. Yeah, something like this, but not this one at all. That one no follow at all. It's not fine. That one is not fine at all. Okay, so while it's loading, let's just be seeing what it has. They are still loading. Mm, wow, they're taking a lot of time to load. Though. They are really taking their time. So let's wait for it. I just want to get one example, like just one example of the cartoon, then we can proceed. So I'm sure that this is the keyword that I used. Well, let's continue. When we come back, we'll try to find more. By then, I think most of them should have loaded. So I'm just going to come here and click on my four. So click on four of them. I already grouped them. So I'm just going to Control C to copy them, and then I'm going to come here and paste them. But yours, you have to look for it from the internet, and you'll find it. I'm sure you're going to find it. So this is mine. Very good, very good. Now I have to even adjust because what I need to achieve here is, I have layout grids that are actually directing my design flow. So I want this guy's hand. I need to make sure that it's within the compound of my layout grid. You understand why I'm doing that? So that makes me happy. So let's see if these guys are loaded a bit more. They never still load. Well, this design has been a long time. I don't know if it's possible that these guys have changed. Yeah, more of them now are up front than they were before. Something like this, perfect. You can see this is one of them. So you will just look for them and use them. Wait, was it? Let me see. Something like this, anyways. Yeah, I think that was where I got this guy from. Now, this is what I want to do. I'm going to just try. I'm reducing their sizes at once because it's obviously too big right now. So I just want it to sit somewhere around here. So I'm just going to take this guy and this button down a bit. The reason I'm bringing it down is because I want them to be on the same base. I want it to be that if I draw a line here, you know how I'm drawing the line, of course. I want it to be that all of them are touching the same base. So let me see if I can make the line wider and white in complexion or color or complexion so that you can see it. So that's how I'm actually bringing them down. Right, so this just come down a bit. Okay. I think this is what it should look like. Then this text here is encroaching this man's behind. So I'm just going to resize the text a bit. So because of that text, I'll take this guy's up a bit. Sorry, take this one up a bit. So go up. So let me close that. So let's go. How many from here? Let's do 24, So perfect. This is it. This is just what you're doing for me. And then what else do we have here? All of these ones are just extra. This is an image. This is a this is a text actually, but all of these guys are not necessary. So the next thing I want you to do is this thing here, this particular guy here. But how did I do that? Like look at this design for example. I'm going to draw a circle. So this is the circle that I drew. You see that if I take the circle here, it does nothing. Now this is how we get that light effect. I'm going to come over here. Instead of clicking on fill or stroke, I'm going to go to effects. Now when I go to effects, I'll click on effects, and drop shadow is always the default one that comes up in effect. But I'm going to click on this drop shadow, and I'm going to click on layer blur, layer blur, layer blur, layer blur. Layer is not network. I'm the one repeating it. So layer blur. So when I click on layer blur, you see what happens here. Nothing happened. Okay. Yes. Come over here for the settings of the layer blur. Click on it. Change this 4 to let's say like 40. Now you see this. It's starting to look like some sort of light source. So if we increase it to like 400, now you see it's starting to look like a bulb, an luminous element, the light in the darkness, the reason why the sun, whatever. This makes sense here. Wait, look at this now. So I think the thing just made the Squid Game look as if there's light on the logo. And it's just so nice. Like it's so nice. So that's what this guy does. So I'm just going to come over here and click on it again. I'm going to duplicate it. So let me see how I can. I'm going to change the color of this one to, let's say, I'll just use this my eye pencil here and pick this color. So when I pick that color, I'm going to carry this guy here as a light to this side. Let me keep him showing around here. Just under the button there. You understand? Now imagine I want to do another one here. Let's say I want to have a blue color. I just come here. I just duplicated it. You guys are past the level of me explaining how I'm duplicating. You understand? So let's say I want to use this one here. I could just come over here. It's looking too much, but let me reduce it a bit. So I'm just going to take it and place it somewhere around here. But watch this. Like this now, let me show you something, please. It is on top of the image. But what if I want it to go? What if I want it to go behind the image and not on top of the image? I don't think I've talked about this thing in class, but let me explain it now. Yes, I have. I have. No, I have not. Look at this desktop here. I always tell you that this is a bucket and all of these are inside the bucket, but they are arranged in the bucket in a certain way. The one on top here is considered as the oga at the top. All of these ones are under it, meaning that if I take this frame 6 now, let me remove the layer blur. Good. You can see it's on top. If I take this ellipsis, which is this blue, and I drag it down to under this hero image, this hero image here is those pictures. So if I drag it down under here, watch now. The circle goes behind them. You see that the circle goes behind them. So this is what it means. In the bucket of life, there's hierarchy. Not everybody's on the same level. So some people are behind some people, and some people are in front of some people. Everything they talk, but it's not true. I'm just trying to apply it to figure. Now, so what you want to do is let me just put the effect back. So instead of drop shadow, remember layer blur, and layer blur, you want to come here and set the effect to, let's say, like 120. So you see now it's shining behind there. Okay, let me do 140. It's shining behind. So I can just come here and it will be as if there's an illumination behind this guy's head, courtesy of that particular light that I'm applying behind it. So I could just place it somewhere around there. It's behind them, so this is okay. Or let me just put it at the head instead. So that's fine. The next thing is this. Look at this girl's picture here. This girl in Squid Game, which all of you must have watched. If you never watched Squid Game, you should not be here. No, no, no. It's not fair. All of you have watched Squid Game. In the next class, we're going to do these guys. You see these guys that are purple. You're going to know why these guys are purple. Maybe in the next class or in the next two classes. That's very very advanced stuff, but you enjoy it when you know it. So I wanted to say something about this girl being the way she is. Um, but let me see. I think it was because I edited the picture itself, or was it how I downloaded it? Let me see. I think it was how I downloaded it. Yeah. It was how I downloaded it. I thought I actually edited the picture here, but no problem. Let's just push. So now that we've done this guy, this is what we're going to do. Oh, this is actually very nice. So let's just come here. So let's reduce the size of the desktop frame so that it doesn't look too odd. So we can just reduce it to something like maybe something like this. I don't want it to look too odd. You know you're designing. I want to draw a rectangle here like this. Okay. So I probably just color the rectangle black. I just take it up a bit. Okay, so let me see how I can now just trying to make it, look selfsy. You know what I'm trying to say. Not that you will do this if you are designing an actual app. I want it to be that when you submit it and you upload it to your status and all of that, it's looking sales. You understand? Okay. So it's something like that. Squid Game Battle um UI design. Now, responsive. What is responsive? Like I said, responsive is what? Taking what is in your desktop and using it to create the tablet and the words and the mobile. So tablets, I'm going for 11 inches here. So I just keep it there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come here, click on the desktop frame, come to this color. I'm going to click anywhere outside here, this color here to select the entire thing, and then I'll do Control C. Then I'll click on my tablet frame and do Control V, and it's going to paste the color in here. Now all I have to do is adjust the color. So how do I do that? I click here and then use the lines, right? So I just want to adjust the color a bit, something like this, and that's perfect. Okay, so like I said, the wow, there are a lot of people that wanted to join. I don't know, vex, I don't see them on time. Okay, so like I said, the wait. Okay, can you take the behind thing again? I see your questions. It's fine. Um, it's fine. We are going. I'm going to just do a recap on a few things here. So we just come in here. We take the logo. I'm just gonna come here. Take the no. It's not. It's not the ellipse that I want to take. Lax. It's the logo. So click here. You can see that the ellipse is even on top of the logo. That's why I can't select the logo. Look now. See. Look at the ellipse. Look at the logo. Where's the logo? Where is the logo? Wait. Let me just deselect it. Wait. Let me see. What's the name of this logo? What's the name of the file? I mean the layer. So see the logo here. Let me just rename it to logo so that we can know where it is. See the logo is down, and this guy is on top of it, way on top of it. So what we are going to do is hold on, let me accept someone. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and take this one behind the logo. So let me scroll. The logo you can see where it still is. So I'll take this guy under the logo so that this one will now stay under the logo. Wait, sorry, it went outside the frame. You can see it's now behind the desktop frame. So I need to bring it back inside and under the logo. Sometimes people make this mistake of taking things outside the frame, outside the bucket. So you don't need to do that. Okay, so I'll take the squid game here. Now you can see it's selectable. I've copied it. So I'm going to my tablet device. And here I'm going to click Ctrl V to paste it. But on the tablet device, is it going to take the same format? Do you think this menu is going to be spelled out like this? Do you think this button is going to be available here? What do you think? Well, first of all, let's create the layout grid for tablets. So layout grid, come over here and then grid settings, go to columns, and tablet is 8. And then margin we can use, let's use 50, and color of the layout grid, let's use white. So now in this tablet, I want the logo to be on the left, somewhere around here, and I want the logo to get smaller a little bit. Now I want this button to come all the way to this side. I basically just, you know what I did. I don't need to explain that. So the button can maintain the same size. It's fine. This one here is a menu. So even if I bring this guy, even if I say, for example, I want to take this guy over here and drop it like this, you say I will need to edit the size of the font, or I can make a header where this one is at the center, this one will not be at the center as well for tablets. But that way, my sign up button might have to go because it doesn't make sense if it's just here on its own. Or I can use that menu, that menu icon that's usually available on websites on your mobile devices. Now you will start taking note of all these things because you are now a designer. So when you see it, you'll be like, see that guy, see that guy. It's normal. So I could do that. What I'm going to do for this guy is, I think I'm going to go with this. Let me put it here. I'm not saying that this is the best practice, but for this class, let's just put it center, 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 right? So let's leave it like that. Now the next thing I want to do is, let's confirm the sizes, the distance rather. This 25, so let's make it like 16, and then this one to this one, let's do 16 as well. Okay, was that 16? Yes. Then we have the text. So I'm just going to click on the text and drag it in here. You know how I'm dragging it. I'm not explaining this thing ever again. We've passed that level. So I'm going to align this thing to center here. So you can see that this guy aligned to center, this guy aligned to center, I remain this one. So I'll click on this one that did not align, and because I want to know why. So having clicked on it, now I want to come over here. Wait, let me even adjust this, please. Look here. You can see the text alignment. You can do that one from here, left, right, center. So I'll just go for the center here, and this is okay for this guy. So the distance between this to this, I can do something around maybe 48. So I'll align it to the center of the screen. Now, do you want the button to come first before the images, or do you want the image to come first before the button? You are the designer. You will make the decisions yourself. But if you look at my previous example, that is the one I did before, you will notice that the button came first and then the images. But then in the mobile, you will see that the image came first and then the button later on. So what practices? Look at this header for the tablet. You see that I have this menu icon here instead of this guy. So that's what I'm saying. You are the designer and you are going to be the one to design what you want them to actually develop. Okay, so I'm going to prefer that the image comes first this time because I feel like this is the first screen that the user will see. If the image is somewhere down, the page might no longer be interesting for the user. That is user experience. So I'm just going to align this to center from here, and it's not looking aligned yet because of the way the images are. But I can just keep it like this. And then we have the button. So I can have the button come up under the image. So enroll now somewhere around here. The next class is going to be it's going to be very, very interesting because you will notice that there are a lot of things we've been doing that are wrong, but we just did them because we are doing design. But when we talk about some principles, you will notice that some of the things that we are doing are actually wrong. But it's fine. So let's move in for the button. Now you can see that the responsive for tablet is done. I'm just going to give the tablet a stroke so I can see it properly. So let me give it a wide stroke and give the stroke like 4 outside. So I want it to be outside. Corner radius of, let's do our usual 32 so that it makes sense. Alright. Now the next thing is what? How do you want it to be on mobile phone? How do you want this guy to be on mobile phone? So what size are we going to use? Let's use the 13 mini. So how is it going to be on the mobile phone? How is it going to be on the mobile phone? That's the next question that comes to mind. So the next thing we want to do, or the first thing we want to do rather, is take what? The background, right? So we want to take the background from the tablet, because the tablet is the closest to the mobile, and then we'll just come here and click this color. We are not making use of this white that was the previous background. You can even remove it. So this color here, click on it, copy it with Ctrl C, come over here to this one, and then we'll paste it. So you can see we have the 13 unit frame there. Whew. Okay, okay, so let's push. I just wanted to confirm that we're still connected. Alright, so we have the logo here, same thing. We drag the logo in here. Oops, sorry. We need to create the layout grid, right? 4 columns. So layout grid, come here. I already have layout grid style for it. You see where it's easy. I already have the layout grid style. You can see it. You know what? I'm using the style. I need to create again. I'm tired. So squid game here, fine. So let's reduce the logo a bit, just small, just to just make that difference. So smaller. And now we have this menu here, and we don't want it to be like this on the mobile. Not like it cannot be like this. So we can bring this guy in here if we want to maintain consistency in the design. And then all we have to do is just reduce the font sizes of these guys. Let's say from 24 to like 16, so they get smaller. So you see they will still sit well. But we can still choose to do what I did in the other one, which is to bring the menu icon. So we'll go to Iconify. So right click, come to plugins, Iconify. So when you click on Iconify, and somebody told me something last year. Is it last year December or January this year? It said that the more difficult a skill is, the more opportunities that it presents. So if anything we are doing is looking difficult, it means that actually they are paying a lot for this. So I search for menu here, and this is something like what you see, right? So let me just take this one here. We're not going to use it because I want to maintain consistency with the tablet layout. You feel me? So we're not going to use it. The menu entered to me around here. Let me change the color to white so you can see it. So you can see that's the menu. So when they click on this menu, we expect that something will fly out from here or come up from here, and then this one is going to show. But let's just remove the menu because let's maintain consistency with this guy. So then we have the sign up button. I'm going to drag it in here, assuming that we want the sign up to still be here. But this sign up button is too large. So we're going to go into the text of the sign up button because this is auto layout, right? And the is going to hug. Remember our last class we talked about hugging. Let me make sure these guys are hugging first. It's supposed to hug. So they are hugging now. So let's just go into the text, reduce the text size to 16, and you can see it's going to hug automatically. So we can have the sign up button here. Distance between the elements, this to this 12, let's make it 16. Then this to this, let's make it 16 as well. That was 19, so 16. Then we have this text, so I'll just drag the text in here, and you can see it's way big. So I'm just going to go into them. How am I going into this text? Some of you may ask because I think I'm doing it a bit fast. There's something called deep select. Deep select is that, for example, imagine I want to go into this battle and I don't want to double click. Deep select is what? Hold control on your keyboard and then just click on it. You just go straight into it. Deep select is like, um, how do I put this down? It's like being able to transpass every other thing and get exactly to where you want to go into. For example, now imagine I want to come to this image at the back. You can see it's a group, but I want to come to this particular one. I just hold control, and there we see I have the image selected. So that's the power of this deep select. So I use it a lot in design, and you are going to use it a lot as well. So this is the mobile screen. I'm going to deselect this one. Then I'm going to hold shift while still holding control to deselect, because I want to select the three of them. Or let's take them one by one, because I think the sizes are different. So we'll take them one by one because the sizes are actually different. So Squid Game UI, instead of 50, let's do like 35. Add tool, I just deselected it. Instead of 80, let's do like 50. And then be fast, be slow, be up, be blah, 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 blah. Instead of 24, let's do like 16. And then the last thing we want to do is bring the frame itself, this blue line, into the frame based on our, what's it called, our layout grid. Watch this. You can see that the caption be fast, be slow is not working. It's because the frame of the caption itself is longer than this guy, this blue line. So if you double click on this to, or you select to go into it, you can see that it's still long. So you just have to adjust this one itself on its own as well, and it's going to just sit in there. And then let's just bring this guy up a bit, because of course. So I'm just adjusting here. So you should be able to do this as well. And then the next thing we have is what, the image, right? So I'm just going to drag the image over to my screen here. And of course, it's gigantic. We can't have this on mobile, so I'm going to reduce. Just going to reduce it a lot, and then I'll just sit it somewhere around here. It's trespassing. You can see it's trespassing my layer grid left and right. So I'm just going to still resize it a bit more. Then I'm just going to adjust it. So I think somewhere around there is okay. So what's this? So I think this distance is okay because I didn't measure this, but I can see that the head from this guy is is actually okay. So we can just let this be. And then the final thing is the button, right? So I'll just click on this for button and drag this all the way here, all the way. Drag it all the way. Okay, and then see, it doesn't really beat my layer grid, does it? It doesn't. I would have adjusted it a lot more, but the full width button is okay for enroll. Now maybe the text can get smaller. Instead of 24, we do 16 because we want to maintain consistency with the sign up text there, which is as well 16. So let's do the same thing for this guy in terms of the stroke. So 32 corner radius. So we have stroke color white. We're using white because the background is black. So instead of the stroke to be inside, we want it outside. We want the stroke to be 4 in terms of the weight. This is responsive design. So that's your assignment number one cut out for you. That's your wait. You remember this one? Let this one not stand out. Let it not be different. Oh wait, we didn't put this our shiny lights. So you can actually still carry them, place them into these guys. I'm doing them automatically, and you know how I'm doing them. I'm holding alternate to just move from here to here quickly. You understand? I hope you understand because you know we did it before now. So it's actually a very simple thing. So I'm trying to get this blue circle behind here. So I just got it. So I just want to take the blue circle somewhere around here as well. You can see it's in front of this guy. You can see it's actually in front of that guy. So we're going to take it behind. You can see this one too, it's in front. So we'll come into this one, and the shortcut to take things behind, of course, you can just right click on it and say send to back. Look at this bracket sign here. Is the shortest cut to send it to the back. Once you just hold click on this, it will just send this guy to the back. It will keep sending it to the back until it gets to the bottom of your bucket. But let me scroll up so that you can see the iPad. So this is the iPad bucket here. So now the ellipsis is the blue one, this blue one. So once I just start clicking that bracket, you can see it has gotten to the back of my logo even. So I'll do the same thing for this guy. Click the brackets. So it's just going to keep going behind until it gets to the bottom. So that's perfect. So the desktop screen, let's turn off the layout grid And then the desktop screen, let's I just remembered something. Let's maintain the size of the desktop screen. What was the height? I think it's 1024. So let's leave it because I want us to do mock-ups as well. And I'll show you what mock-ups are in 1 minute. So I'm just gonna come here and do the same thing. Stroke white from inside to outside. Then there's the width or the stroke size to 4, and then corner radius 32. So it looks like this. It's actually nice. So this is what you're submitting as your first assignment. Assignment number one. So this is it. So any questions here before I proceed to mock up, please? What opacity did you give the layer blow? It was 120. Okay, you got that. Can you take the behind thing again? I think I just did. So, okay, yeah, the video will always be available. The video is already at an hour and 21 minutes. Kindly explain the eclipse again. So I assume that Bukola, you're talking about the one I just explained now. It's just create a circle, apply effects. The effect you're applying is layer blow. That's all. Okay, so I want to assume that everybody is up to date with everything so far. So let me just quickly go into mockups. Let me see. Is it mockup or adaptive design first? Or should we end there for tonight? Let me see. Adaptive design, then mockups. I think we should stop here. Let's stop here so that we can take adaptive design and mockups in the next class. These two are not going to take us up to 20 minutes. But I don't want to give you a lot to do at the same time. You feel me? I don't want to give you a lot. Should I write down the instructions on how to do these things step by step, or are you guys good with? Okay, no, let me write down a few things such as colors. So I'm going to just write down a few things such as okay, the color that I used. So let me start with background. Let me see. Hope no comments. It is well with you, Andrew. So background color is linear, but what is the hexa code? So let me go and get the hexa code for us. So the hexa code for the background color is the first one is F2075 blah blah blah, and then the second one is pure black. So let me go and note that down so that I can send it to you as you know, so that you do exactly what I do. So F2, blah blah blah, and 0000. That's pure black. So now it's up to you to adjust it the way it should be. So background color linear. I need to include not solid here. So linear not solid, right? So let me just change the color of this guy a bit so that there's emphasis on it. Then what else do I need to mention here? Let me see. Um, this Squid Game color here. So what's the color that was used? Let me see. So I think two colors. The first one is the blue 0922CE, and then the second one was red at E12222. So let's go and type those figures down. So let me come over here and write text color. So I'm just going to paste this one. This and what was it? E1, I mean E9. I think E12222 or something like that. Check. I'll check it. I'll check it. No, don't worry. I'm going to check it. So let me just remove this emphasis on this guy. Okay. So Let's go back there. Let's see the text again. Say you do a design that has 40 screens, that's when you start to experience what I'm experiencing because your screen will start to lag. Not like it's lagging in a bad way, but because all the designs have to load. So E1, okay, yeah, that's correct. That's what I use for the text. So it's up to you to now play with it. The button, what's the color for the button? I'm sure that's something necessary as well. So the color for the button is, I think it's the same thing. Kosi Wahala. I will actually write that one as well. Let me just bring this here. So when I finish, I will now take it. So let me just do a bit of typing here just to make sure that the colors are cool. So button color. So let me just paste the first one. And that's on the color of the button. The color of the button is, first one is ED1 8 ED1 855. So let me come in here and paste it. We're almost done, please. No yawning. No yawning. So ED1 blah 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 blah. And then the second one is let's see the second one. It's 0827D2. You can see the way I stretched the blue in a way that the blue did not even almost show. Okay. Oh, okay. You have a question, please. You can type it down. No, see, you guys have gone, you have passed the stage of step by step. Step by step is when we come into things like maybe component variants. I can take it step by step. This one is visual. This one is something that I want you to watch the video and something that I know that you can do. You can even do with just instructions that I'm giving. But I don't want to do the step by step. No, 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 no. See, you have gone beyond that level. That step by step thing, no, no, it's not always easy. But I'm sure that you guys can do this. What you just need is just all these color codes for the linear and etc. So I think that's all the colors. So when you finish, you just send your design as pictures. So what you're going to do is this: select the first one, come over here, click on export, and then you just click on export. That's all. So if I do this, then it's going to export and it's going to download to my laptop. Then of course you'll find a way to get it from your laptop to your phone. So you're submitting your assignment this time in pictures. So I think I just opened the desktop that I just downloaded. So you can see it. That's how it's going to come. So you're just going to do this one, two, three. If you want to be extra creative, you can send all of them at once, but you have to create a frame because you can only export. Um, you can only make them. It's going to be finer if you use make it a frame. You understand? If you use a rectangle, it's not going to work. It's best to click on F for frame, and then that's if you want to do something extra. Then you just drag it all over your three designs like this. Okay. Then of course you change the color because this color is a bit, it's too much. You know. So imagine you want to use. Okay, let's use this color set. Sorry, hold on. I want to see something. I want to try and use this one. So let me use this one. And if you want to do something like this and send, then that's also fine. It's fine as well. But you don't need to do you don't need to stress all this much. You understand? So by the time you now put it in a frame like this, you can now download the frame. It's going to collect everything that's inside the frame. So you can export. So this is the one I will send to the group tonight alongside the video. Please Any questions? Any questions? It's still exporting. When it's done, it's going to download. Wait, oh, better export finish. Great, so it has exported. So let me see how I can get these instructions properly labeled and loaded rather. So I'm just going to take all of them and then put them in auto layouts and just going to give it a feel of black so that I have a background. Then I'll do the same thing, go to export and export. So these are the two things that I'll be sending today. And now it's time to take your questions. Any question from everyone here? Blessing Best, you raised your hand moments ago. Do you particularly have any question? Oladele Bukola. This time I'm not writing the step by step instructions. This time you are going to um, okay. So this time you're going to make use of the video, your creativity, and the color codes that have been given to you. Any questions? Do you have questions? Gideon, Olamide Kuti, Blessing Best, Wakama Elizabeth, Laptop. How can somebody's name even be Laptop? Like, I mean, how can your name be Laptop? Anyways, Toby Trip,
Yeah, I think I'm
type
cleared, sir.
type your questions if you
I'll
have
just
any.
follow the videos.
It's fine, okay, that's okay. If you have any questions, of course, I'm always going to have time to answer your questions. Okay, so that's all we have for tonight. It's already an hour and 48 minutes, almost 2 hours. Wow. So I hope that everything we did was, um, I hope that everything we did was well detailed. Do you have a question, Bukola? Okay, because I think I saw your hand being raised. So that is everything we have.
Yes, yes, I have a question. I'm typing it.
Okay, okay, I'll wait for you. I'll wait for it. Okay. So let me just make sure. I want to put the frame on display so you can see the end result of your design to be submitted. You see as this one is neat, please let your one be neat as well. Responsive is not difficult, it's not difficult at all. Just make it neat. Alright, just make it neat. Must you do the exact way you did or we can be creative with it? No, you don't have to do the exact way I did it. You don't have to. You might not even find the exact pictures that I used, but at the end, the objective is that you create styles for maybe colors, text, or layout grids, so that you know that okay, this is how these styles work, and then you know how to use the gradient something. So you must use gradient background, layer blur for those effects, those light effects, and responsiveness, right? So responsive design, let it be responsive. So you can play around with other things, download the font, use the Figma font, I mean the Game of Script font, or if you have a better font that you can use, of course, you can use it as well. I use Game of Script font because it's a game of script something. If you can find a better font, you can use it. It's all going to go to your portfolio at the end of the class and it's all kudos for you. So I hope that answers your question. Laptop, your hand is being raised. If you have a question, you can just type it down. So we're just going to have 2 more minutes, 1 more minute rather, because time has already been exhausted. So 1 more minute. Let me see if you have more questions. If you don't have more questions, we are going to call it a night at this particular point in time. So 30 more seconds for any questions. How do you import the fonts? Very good question. But Go to Game of Speed, click on download, you will get the font. After downloading the font, install the font. After installing the font, make sure make sure that you reload your file. Make sure you have Figma font installer on your PC. If you don't have Figma font installer, it means that you've missed a class because we talked about Figma font installer in a class. Okay, you might need to specifically ask how to install Figma font installer. But all of those things, the instructions are still on the group. I think there's a picture that has all those instructions. I think it's the last class before this one. So you can go back to that if you need to get how to install the what's it called? How to install a font. Alright. So I just stopped sharing my screen, and I just want to thank you guys for still being here. You can actually leave now. You're doing the best thing for yourself by being here actually. So let's get going. I'm going to stop the video right about now.